All right, guys, welcome back to Beers and Breakevens. Heading into round 5. It was a wet and wild weekend in the rearview mirror. But we're looking forward to getting back into it this week. Timbo, how be thee?
I'd be good. I'm pretty excited, but what has just got me even more up and about is Kat her dad.
Oh, here we go.
Kat's up and about tonight. Like even more, we've said she's a bit rowdier in these later night recordings, but tonight she's particularly on one.
I don't know if you saw that picture of Nathan Brown from the weekend up against the back fence off the kickoff. When I got into the car park today, she was up against the back wall. Just fucking.
Yeah, I was ready to
go.
run it straight at you as well. I'm good, guys. How are you?
We're good.
Happy Teamless Tuesday / Beers and Breakevens Day.
Happy Riley Smith Day to all those that enjoy, that all those big religious people out there like me.
Oh, I got one for you. Happy Latrell Mitchell returning day.
Yes, big talking point, Timbo.
Yeah.
It was an exciting Teamless Tuesday. It was good gear today.
There was a bit in it, yeah. Like not only, the carnage of injuries and suspensions, but as you said, some good players coming back. And at the end of the day, Roo, it's Riley Smith Day.
Yeah. The game's better with superstars like Riley Smith and the other Latrell, whatever his name is, but Riley Smith, he's in. Now, shout out to the 1% of you out there. Usually when you're in the 1%, it's not a good thing, but today it definitely is. Me and Tim were proud owners from the very start. I feel like my son's grown up just flash before me. Very exciting.
They grow up fast too.
They do grow up fast,
Thankfully.
they do. Thank fuck.
Especially when Mamazelis was taken off and Corey Pax looked like a superstar after 1 week. I'm going, oh no, what have we done, Roo?
It was a bit scary for a while there.
Feel better now.
Yeah, not the dumbest decision I've made, but it could have been up there. Now, last week, such a bob with a rake, 1,059 was not a good week for me. I captained Turbo, as I think all of my beloved panel members, team members, soulmates did. I'm now ranked 12,900.
The deep swallow.
And 88. Yeah, it's a jungle out there, and I'm getting done by a tiger at the moment. How are you looking?
Oh, I mean, at least you saved a few trades last week.
Fuck off. Fuck you, man. What'd you score? How'd you go?
I mean, I didn't have a great week, but I think I had a crack at you last week about the high vis vest that you were putting on. I ended up using one trade and I saved both. So I scored 1068. So I had a drop, but I just didn't like anything about last weekend. So I dropped to 5,400 overall. But yeah, I ended up basically going into it. Dill Lucas was one that I had there in the back row, and I went to move to players. I'm like, I don't like anyone. I had my eye on like Eli Katoa, Angus Crichton, some of these tour Fs this week, and I didn't particularly like the Matty Nicholson play, so I held off there and held onto that. And I was going to go on the show last week, Ponga to Pappenhausen, and then Pappy, the rain concerned me. But I was like, no, it's good to go Pappy anyway. But then he lost the goal kicking because of his ankle. And he came out and said it. Wishart took over, so I went, screw it. It means I can hold Ponga. So, yeah, I used one trade, dropped a little bit, mate. But, the Turbo captaincy debacle, that wasn't ideal. But all things equal, I thought I got out of it okay and, yeah, banked a few trades.
Yeah, little did we know our conversation last week about what VC do you take. You should have taken a VC of 40 last week if you were a Turbo.
Yeah, it would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Would have been great.
And I mean, the other thing about it's so important to stress through, especially for us diehards out there, but once, the game kicks off on Thursday at 8 p.m. each week, don't just lock things in. Like, stay flexible. So when I mentioned that I didn't like trades last week, another part of that was that Tommy Jenkins had already gone well. That were Thursday night last week. And on top of that, Brian Toto did his hamstring share. All right, Tom Jenkins becomes a must next week. So straight away after one game, I've gone, there's one trade I need to lock in next week. And it just appeared a better week to boost. So as I said, stay a bit flexible across the weekend and see how things play out.
Now, this is a quick game of Guess Who. Guess who didn't think that far ahead and has 2 thumbs? It's fucking this guy. Heaps jealous about that. Cat, score, rank.
God.
You back in the top 10,000?
Well, you know what they say about the top 31,000?
Oh, jeez. We're stretching out.
Yeah, Timmy, you said it was a weekend that you weren't feeling it. I probably opened the app like 3 times just to confirm how negative I felt about it and the fact that it was in fact coming to fruition and I was having one of the worst weekends ever. I got a score of 1,000. I traded in. I got rid of RTS for for Tuipulotu and McLean for Arthurs. Which, like, on paper, not terrible trades, but neither scored very well. And then I captained Turbo as well. So I just felt the impacts of that.
Yeah, that hurts. You made some good money on Tuipulotu, though, and you made some good big on Arthurs that week too.
Might book a holiday.
Might have been a little bit late to the Arthurs party.
Yeah. Actually was a panic trade.
Yeah, you know what?
It was a panic
Now
trade.
I think back, I was out for dinner last Thursday night.
Don't.
And I
knew
got
you'd
the
throw me
message
under
from
the
Kat,
bus.
let's sort out my team. I said, sorry, bud, you're on your own. I'm out having a feed-off. So
yeah, well, Jesse
best of
Arthurs is
luck.
what happens when I'm on my own. So.
Yeah, you were a bit late to the, as I said on Beers on the live stream before, Timmy, someone asked a question about Arthurs. Do I buy him this? Oh, who was it? Someone, do I buy them this week?
And you said no.
I said, no, you've shown up to the party and we're already singing happy birthday. You're a little bit late, my friend. You've done a cool
I got ready. I was there for the hip.
Yeah,
and then there were no hoorays. There were no hoorays.
Tough
It was
going.
either him or I was tempted to jump on the Jason Saab train for the weekend. I thought he would score better against Parramatta, but in hindsight, I mean, I wouldn't have done much better. So
In hindsight and not in hindsight, you made a good decision.
yeah, thank you.
I back that. Okay, there we go. Shit fight all round. Let's hope we can redeem ourselves this week.
Yes, bit of work to do after a tough week, mate.
Yeah.
But we work in teams. We'll rise together.
Yeah,
hopefully.
dig up
God,
stupid
I'm
stuff.
motivated.
We're ready to go.
Far
It's been a
out.
week.
Thanks, guys.
Now, as always, Biz and Breakevens is brought to you by Lontel, doing fantastic things. Now, they have got the offer still going for until Thursday night when that game kicks off, the Raiders and the Cronulla Sharks, potentially a grand final preview.
Yeah,
Thought
well,
I'd get more out of you with that. That's fine. I won't be doing that
More to
again.
come.
More to come. Sweet. Now, their 1 month free trial, it's been extended until that kickoff on Thursday night. And then after that, it's going to go back to just a week. So shout out to Lontel. Mate, what a sign-up offer. And I'll tell you what, the Beers and Breakevens faithful, like flies to shit, Timmy. There is internet flying all over the place. It has been fantastic so far.
if Savelio Tamale has scored a try by minute 3 and you're watching, you're going to have to go, shit, I forgot to click the link.
Yeah.
To
Correct.
Lontel.
Yeah.
Because it will be too late because the offer will have closed off, mate. It's absolutely flying. And they've been good to us, mate. So, you know, proud supporters of Beers and Break-Ins and the Canberra Raiders, more importantly. So,
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're also, what's the Tasmanian AFL side? Something ridiculous. What's it called? Or is it the
No,
basketball
you're thinking
team?
of the Jack Jumpers.
The Jack Jumpers. Unreal.
I was going to say
Ridiculous and
Tasmanian
unreal.
Devils.
It's like, what?
I was going to say Tasmanian Devils. Stab
Has
in the
there, ever,
dark.
has there ever been a Tasmanian Devil side?
There's
in anything?
Tasmanian. There's the
Well, what's the
Tasmanian
cricket side?
Tasmanian Tigers.
Tigers, yeah, right. Good gear. But Thursday night, the Lontel link, that will finish. That is for a month free. So, guys, if you've been sitting here for the last month or so, sort of weighing it up, the next 48 hours, pull the trigger. It's a month free trial. If you don't like it at the end of the month, hey, diddle diddle, see you later. We'll hit the road. But why not? Give it a go. You got 48 hours. The link is in the description. Use the code that's down there. And yeah, sign up. Go have a go. And if it's not for you, jump out. But I think you'll live to regret that.
Tamale's Tiny's boots. Time's ticking.
Yeah, time is ticking. Make a move. Do good things. All right, team list Tuesday. Speaking of Thursday, which of course is the cutoff for the Lontel link down there for 1 month free at the start. Let's kick off with Raiders and Sharkies out there at GIO Stadium down there in the nation's capital. Smithy's onto the bench. Hiroti into the centres. We've obviously got Kel Itero out. I'll tell you what, Timmy, if you started with Itero out there and you've lost him, I feel really sorry for you because, my God, that was a cracking pick.
Yes.
brutal.
Among that Sharks backline that's so volatile, or I shouldn't say so volatile, but hard to get, he was good every week.
Kind of volatile.
It's kind of
not
volatile.
not volatile.
Yeah, but he's not.
He's the good. So shout out to anyone out there. We feel for you. So Hiroti come in, Smithy's on the bench. Anything else touch on with that game, mate?
No.
Saw some content today from the Raiders. Your mate, Zach Hosking, running around looking good. I think he's going to be back soon, which will be very interesting.
You nervous little Nicholson owner over there? Or
I'm a nervous little everything at the moment. All right, let's move to Friday, 6 p.m. Panthers, Cows, Combank Stadium, Jenkins at centre. Casey McLean gets recalled on the sting. Nathan Cleary at 7. Papali'i on the edge. Snyder in the 14. Blaze Tongi still in jersey 18. Cowboys are 1-17. Mate, the Milky Bar kid, Tommy Jenkins. I think he'll be the most traded in guy this week. And if he's not, he should be. He has to be, in my opinion.
He was like, let's say he got through that game on the weekend okay. He was already going to probably be one of those trade-in plays this week, if not number one. And then with about 10 to go, Brian To'o did his hammy because the only concern around the Milky Bar kid was that, just job security. But with To'o gone for around about a month minimum, Tommy Jenkins minus -4 break even, 215K, comes in for games against the Cowboys, Dolphins, Roosters, Manly, Nathan Cleary back. You just have to have him.
He's played 2 games. They've lost both of them. He's averaging 80 points and he hasn't scored a try yet. Good gear.
I'll get to him, but I've got to get my bloody article up. But his base stats, he had 49 in base in this game.
Oh, yeah.
He had, where are we? Sorry, mate. Good podcasting. 22 tackles, 16 runs in that game, as I said, and they were beaten and there were points scored. And it was, just buy him.
Yeah, wait until he crosses over for a meter. You'll be killing it then. A guy that is a must-have this week. Nath Cleary back. Say less kind of stuff, Timmy. Do we have anything to add on Nath? Or
the only thing would be, mate, and I mean, it's probably one more, I was going to say directed at me, directing it at myself, but for non-Cleary owners and people looking at the matchup against the Cowboys and going, all right, do we just pull the trigger early and chase the points? My advice would be no. Look, we know what Cleary can do, but he's coming out from a head knock, which I think is fine, but he's got that 2 in his rolling average from the Storm game. Break even of 142. There's every chance he drops a fair bit of money here. A bit of worry always a bit of worry if they cop another head knock. I just think you wait, you watch. If he comes out against the Bunnies this week and, tons up, the break even will still probably be pretty similar, but that'll be into a game with the the Cowboys. Maybe by next week, but would you agree? You just wait, right?
100% wait. Yeah. I was team hold on to Nath forever, but if I didn't have him, mate, this Cowboys side, they've looked pretty good the last 2 weeks. The Penrith Panthers still without Brian To'o, still without Dylan Edwards, changes in the back line. I think there's still a forward pack trying to work out life without James Fisher-Harris and whatnot.
Scotty too hotty, Scott Sorensen out.
He's out, which, Isaiah Papali'i goes there, he'll be fine, but it just takes someone else off the bench. Yeah. So, they're coming off 3 losses in a row. There's no, I would have told you last week they were going to kill it because they lost 2 in a row. You just don't know. I wouldn't be chasing Nath too hard this week.
No, in reality, we should be picking him up either. In a perfect world, non-owners are getting him in 2 weeks' time.
Yep.
After 2 more games when he bottoms out at 630, 640K. In reality, it's Nathan Cleary. He probably puts on a big score either against the Bunnies or the Cowboys, and we get him at maybe 670, 680, which, it's an enormous downgrade from his starting price, but I think it's worth waiting.
Bunnies Roosters, Friday night, 8 p.m. out there at a core. Gray at 1, Latrell Mitchell at centre. Hubner returns at 13, Totola prop, Mawale bench for the Chooks. Connor Watson returns in the 9 jersey. Lindsay Collins in the front row. Nat Butcher in 13. ZDC comes off the bench. Lenu on the bench there with Steep and Feketi as well. I guess the big news there, mate, Latrell. Have we got him in a stat or anything later?
We don't.
Let's talk about him now, eh?
Yep.
What do you reckon?
Nah,
just flat out nah.
Flat out nut for me. I've got plenty to say, but do you have any interest?
I've got interest, but do we both agree? We think once they get into the red zone, he'll sort of play fullback?
I think first game back from a hamstring injury, they will have shapes and plays set for Latrell to get in amongst it as fullback. I am a bit cautious of it's his first game back. So let's say he plays 3 weeks at centre before moving back to fullback for Jai Gray. I think they will ease him back into those shapes and his workload rather than from, if he's playing centre in 3 weeks, I expect him to be playing a lot of fullback in the red zone, the opposition's 20 metres when they're attacking.
Yep.
But week 1, I just wonder, do they really ease him back?
Mate, I also, if I was to put my Cody Walker hat on, if I could go with that edge of Chad Townsend and young Rob Toyer with Keon and Latrell there, I tend to agree. I think they'll just sort of leave Latrell out there a little bit this week. If he plays those 3 games, he gets dual position CTW. Fucking game changer.
Yeah.
It's almost a cheat code. I almost don't want it to happen for the sake of the game.
I really don't. And, they can always be a little bit funny with the way they award the dual position. We had a bit of a chat about it on the Playbook podcast. And how it's like if it's a temporary thing because of injuries at centre and he's coming back from injury and then he'll move back to fullback. They're always a bit funny with how they do it, but mate, it's so good having diversity at fullback in particular, especially with the flex now where we can have 3 gun fullbacks. You know, as we get more money in our bank and we can afford it, like if Latrell's available at CT dub as well, everyone has him, and it ruins one spot.
Yeah, I'd be happy to have a gentleman's agreement where you just go. If I was a draft player, I'd be beside myself if he didn't get it. But from a classic point of view, I think it's very, very fair. The guy in my draft comp's actually got Latrell and Jai, but he can only play one of them at the moment. So he kind of needs that duel.
Imagine if you got both and he could switch them off.
Yeah, be unreal. Yeah. So, Latrell Mitchell, he'll be a big talking point over the next few weeks.
He will, mate. His time will come. I wasn't actually interested really even at fullback, just straight off the bat, come out from the hammy.
Yep.
There's the question as well, does he kick, does he not? I don't know. Humphries has been hitting him well, so big watch there. But I think we can just pick him up in a few weeks' time, right, and go from there.
You a Hubner owner?
I am, started with him.
Yeah, so am I. Very excited to have him back. I think we're going to have to use him this week.
He's another one, mate, 232K, need 25. Probably been a little bit lost in it the last few weeks, having been suspended, but remains a great buy.
Yeah, for sure. Outside of that, for the Roosters, Connor Watson back at 9, back from HIA there. Not much else to touch on. Saturday, we've got the Lomax Gutherson Cup. For the Eels, Riley Smith named at 9. I repeat, this is not a drill. Riley Smith has been named at 9. Dylan Walker at 14, Moretti off the bench. Charlie Geimer dropped for the second time this season. Good God.
Poor guy.
Well, I thought I had a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
Rough.
I know. Annoying, isn't it? Anyway,
he must park in 2 spots each morning, or he must leave the fridge door open in Parramatta, or he must be doing something that pisses people off.
Thought they liked him, and then all of a sudden, Keir Tuivasa, Moretti are on the bench. Can't get a gig, the poor bugger.
Yeah, bizarre. For the Dragons, Laurie Egan-Stewart on the bench. Now, Hamish Stewart, as reported, he was going to be out for a few weeks. Doesn't look that way. He's been named. Someone told me today that it's nowhere near as bad as they thought, and he was set to play. So he's been named, so I read into that. Dylan Egan, have we got anything on him later in this, or can we touch on him now?
We don't, mate. I'm going to throw it over to you now because it's pretty fascinating. I know you're a big Dylan Egan guy, but Emre Gula suspended for 3 weeks. It opens up minutes not only for Hamish Stewart, but your boy Dylan Egan. Talk to us.
I love the look of this guy. He looks like Liam Martin to me. He's got a bit of see you next Tuesday about him, which I absolutely love. I love the way that the boys got around him. He seems like a flano guy through and through to me. 47 in his first hit out. Granted, there was a Hamish Stewart injury in that, so he maybe got a few extra minutes. But at the price he's at, mate, I'm sort of happy to run with him. As you said, you've got Emre out for 3 weeks. I noticed that Harm Seller, he put up a bit of content today about his return soonish.
What did you read between the lines?
No, I didn't read a heap between the lines. It's just sort of, have you watched it yet?
Yeah. Well, most of his content has been about how he's disappointed how he hasn't been ready to return. So I think he's just not been given the all clear yet.
Yeah. Love Harm Selo, no stranger to an injury or a niggle or something, unfortunately.
And I think he'll be the first to say that.
Yeah, I think he's well aware. He has to be well aware of that, the poor bugger. Really good player. Seems like a cracking bloke too. But I'm kind of feeling okay about Dylan Egan. I know the golden rule is wait the week. I kind of want to free up a bit of cash. If I go Dylan Egan, because I've got to move Jack Williams because he's let me down for the 19th time in my life. Shout out to him. I'm actually loving him. But I've got to make a move somewhere. I think I'm going to go to Egan a week early. I'm just going to back my eye in there and that he's going to stay in that side. And that'll free me up about 900K this week, Timbo. So we'll get to our big question of the week around boosting, but Egan's going to play a big role for me and I'm happy to go to him. Anything else on that game?
No, mate. You do you with your little Egan move.
You don't like it?
Not this week.
Why?
Because he's played one NRL game. As you like you said, it was impacted by Stewart played probably a bit more than half his regular minutes. Were there any other injuries in that game or anything? I can't remember. But it just seems one that you wait a week on. Like, I'm sure he'll make a little bit of cash. It could be a great buy. If he was 2RF front row forward, it'd be a little bit different because then if it falls flat on its ass, you've sort of got that jewel that you can utilise, which is invaluable. But 2RF only, I mean, again, you've seen a lot more than I have of him and you're backing him and I get that. It just seems like one that can easily wait or he could turn into a 30-point per game plotter that does nothing. If
you can present to me a better option than him, I'd be happy to take it. I just think he's the best guy from the quick look I've had. I think he's the best guy that I can make a move to. But I'm open to options. We'll see what we can find throughout the show, okay?
Just pay it for Nafahu White.
No, fuck that. Shout out to Twitter for fucking kicking my ass this week. Saturday, 5:30.
I saw that. You got clipped up,
fucking hammered.
Clipped up from pre-season.
I'm not on Twitter. What happened?
Just normal shit. Someone clipped up something from 6 months ago. I was like, well, I told you. So I'm like, fuck, okay. So
I enjoyed it.
I think I said he was up and down, and he did well in SuperCoach. Then he missed a one-on-one tackle, letting it try and under the sticks. But that's fine. It's all
And
good.
you wonder why they roast you. You love it.
Yeah, I love guys that can see tries. All right, Titans. I'm joking, by the way. Fucking, I'm joking. Take it easy. It's a good call by us. Saturday, 5:30. Titans, Dolphins. It's already been clipped up. Seabass Super Stadium. Titans. Randall in at 9. Mulaney in jersey 14. Obviously, Sammy Verrills out. Jeez, he's put together a handy little season, Sam Verrills. I'm not actually sure why he's out here. Have I missed something? Was there an injury on the weekend that I missed, or?
Hip, according to NRL.com.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I can't take a trick, can he?
Speaking of injuries, we've got something special coming for the people today.
How did we not lead with
I
this?
know. Now, this is a big mid-season recruit.
Yeah.
Now, I know you thought Emre Gula was a big one. You thought Dill Walker was a big one. I'll raise you a Brian Sini, NRL Physio. One of the great cameos of all time. So brace yourself for
Get
that.
excited.
Where were we? For the Dolphins, Lemuelu comes in on the edge. Gilbert obviously suspended in this one, and another kick in the dick to the Grizzlies. Anything to touch on in that game, mate?
Well, Titans and Dolphins. I just enjoyed your chat there, mate. I really did.
The crown and the jewel.
Yeah.
Fuck the crown and the jewel. Jesus
But
Christ.
no, God.
Let's
Move
move
on.
on.
Yeah.
What?
Well, you just Tommy Gilbert, you're sticking strong.
At the moment, I've got too many other fires to deal with. Is he out for 1 or 2 weeks?
I think he's only one.
One. That's okay. Well, yeah, I have to stick strong at the moment.
He would have scored well, but he missed 11 tackles.
Yeah, he had a bit of Durkin about him out there, the poor bugger. Broncos, Tigers, 7:35, Suncorp for the Bronx. Per Cura on the edge. Ricky's obviously out of this one. Jaden Hunt comes on the bench for the Tigers. Adam Dwyer, he named at centre. Hopefully he gets through it. Lily on the wing. Still no sign of Skelton. That's a stinger for owners. And Latu Finu at 7. I got to tell you, Timmy, we get a lot of things wrong on this show, but occasionally we absolutely nail something on the melon. And our thoughts on Jerome Luai in the preseason. He'll average 70 at halfback. Fuck off. No, he won't. Crazy talk.
We do occasionally get one right. Yeah. I think I was more open to him than you were. I don't think it was 70 and a half.
I was trying to take you along with me.
Yeah, I'm just scared because I'm like, I would have gone along with you, but off the back of the chat, if you're getting clipped up from 6 weeks ago, I'm just scared that I went and said somewhere that he'd average 70 and then I'll just get wrecked. So
Yeah, fair shout. Well, anyway, in the last 3 weeks, he's averaged 19. So
But yes, I mean, for what it's worth, I didn't have him pegged as a buy early on by any means, but jeez, like he's really underwhelmed SuperCoach. Right, cannot get an attacking stat to save himself.
yeah, he's only dropped 153k. So shout out to
he'll be
you.
cheapy soon.
Yep, good gear. Okay, that is the Tigers done and dusted. Sunday, 4:05, we're back at Brookvale Oval once again. We've got the Seagulls and the Storm. Cracking game coming your way, 4:05. Lehigh at 1, Clayton on the sting. Nathan Brown moved into the front row. Storm, no changes here, but Jerome Hughes on the extended. This game, both these teams just love it, don't they?
Isn't it one of the random great just fixtures during the year, regular season, every time the Battle of Brookie?
Yeah, you got obviously
seen-
stems from the grand finals, and then you've got the Battle of Brookie, as
Blair
you
v.
said.
Stewart.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Two
Always
very
is,
well
and
run clubs.
It makes you nervous around SuperCoach because just for whatever, or not for whatever reason, you just listed the reasons, but those just go out there to bash each other and it worries you.
It does. Now, obviously, one big out from this game, Tom Trbojevic. Tough going.
Poor bugger.
Yeah, it's rough.
I was like, I was devastated as a SuperCoach owner, but one of the rare moments in my life where something goes wrong in my SuperCoach and I'm more concerned about the player than my SuperCoach team getting belted. And when Tommy went down, I was like, damn for SuperCoach, but just gutted for Tommy Turbo.
Yeah.
One of the nicest blokes in the game, this just superstar of our game that's a joy to watch. Oh, so sad.
Yeah. Yeah, devastating. So hope to see him back soon, whatever position that might be. Sunday, 6:15, Bulldogs, Knights for the Doggies. Moran on the bench, no Tilly. Kiraz on the extended. Very good to see. I've had a few people ask me if he's named, do you go him? This injury sounds like a bit of a cloudy one to me, mate. I don't know what your mail's been out of the Dogs, but mine over the last 6 or 7 weeks has been very mixed, been a little bit all over the place. So I understand why people like Kiraz. He's a very good Supercoach player, but surely you just sit and watch for 2 weeks, don't you?
Absolutely do. And also the bye next week.
Oh, of course. Yeah, throw that in too. You're definitely fucking right. I didn't know that, so lucky to have you here, mate.
We work well together, mate.
For the Knights, Tom Cant on the edge, Frizzell on the edge. Outside of that, no changes for the Newcastle Knights. And the New Zealand Warriors, they are lucky enough to have the bye this weekend, and shout out to them. Now, mate, should we rip and tear into some injury news?
Yes, let's do it.
Should we get the one and only NRL Physio? So Physio is going to be joining us each week, and we'll have a look at what he's got to say. And he's going to just do the SuperCoach relatable ones for us each week, which I really like. He's going to herd some cats, put them in one spot for us, and we'll throw to him now, and then we'll get back to it.
Alrighty, fellas, we got the SuperCoach relevant injuries for this week. Big one, Nathan Cleary is back from that concussion. No real concerns there. You could argue that maybe he's a little bit of an increased risk of concussion moving forward, but nothing to really bake into your Supercoach implications for. So if you've still got him, start him with confidence. Then we've got Latrell. He's back from his hamstring issue. I'm a little bit hesitant there. Just the narrative around him in the off-season was, he was looking the best he'd ever looked. We all saw the rig on socials. It was looking really good, and he still suffered a hamstring injury. So that kind of gives me concern. The highest risk of re-injury for him is going to be in the first 2 weeks back. And interestingly, in that second week, so not this week, next week, he'll have to fly to Perth and back, which has its implications for recovery and those kind of things. So yeah, I'm just a little bit hesitant. He's named in the centres as well. So I think, especially from a classic perspective, I think you've just got to, leave those first 2 weeks and kind of see how he goes before you even consider bringing him in. We've got Turbo. He's out for approximately 4 weeks. I know they've got the bye in 4 weeks, so I'd be thinking that Manly will be taking it pretty cautiously with him and bringing him back after that bye. So I think their bye's in round 9, so round 10. So yeah, if you've got Turbo, he's as locked and loaded a sell as you could hope for. And then in terms of when he comes back, once again, I'd be a bit hesitant. I'd want to see a couple of weeks from him before I'm diving in there. Ryan Pappenhausen, so he's playing. He obviously didn't kick last week because of the ankle, but he took the kick off. So I think this is kind of a thing where it's not really like they might have said it's the ankle, but, just take a little bit of load off Pappenhausen, give the kicking to Wishart. I think and the next guy we'll talk about is Jerome Hughes, who is potentially back this week. He's been named on an extended bench. It would be a 2-week return to play from a hand fracture, so that means he's missing 1 week and returning in the second week. It would be the quickest we've seen for that particular fracture. He told us it was the 4th metatarsal fracture, metacarpal fracture, which is in your hand. We've never seen someone come back after only missing a week before, but Hughes has come back in the past only missing 2 weeks. So you're not really shaving that much time off. So very, very good chance that Hughes does return this week, which I think would hand the kicking duties back to Paps. I'm jumping on Paps this week personally, fellas, so I'm buying him this week. I think even if he doesn't get the kicking, I still like him. I think a week off that ankle injury, he should improve in his performance, and I'm pretty hopeful that he'll get the goal kicking back either this week or next. And then we've got KL Iro and Brian To'o with their hamstring injuries. Both are looking at that minor to moderate strain, so around that 2 to 4 week kind of return to play. I think To'o probably a little bit longer because it is a re-injury for him. So, boys, I think that covers most of them, but have a good week and we'll talk about it again next week.
Good gear there. Absolutely love having the physio on. Good
yeah,
man.
I'll be honest. I lost all respect for him when he mistook metacarpal for metatarsal.
Yeah, what an idiot.
What an idiot.
What the fuck is he doing?
Is he even legit, or is he just a social media page?
Fucking got his doctor degree off the back of a Kellogg's fucking box. He's kidding himself. Also, guys, go and check out his podcast, The Magic Sponge. Obviously, he has the best information when it comes to injuries and everything, but him and, forgive me, I can't remember his co-host name, one of his physio mates, really good dynamic between the two. I really like it. Goes for about an hour and a half. They give their SuperCoach thoughts. It actually ticks a lot of boxes for me. I love it.
And just legends. And he said, like, the advice is second to none, and the way they tie it into the SuperCoach as well, it's top notch. So yeah, go and check it out, Magic Sponge. But yeah, we had a little snippet of it each week for beers and breakevens.
Yeah, love to see it.
And some good gear in there straight off the bat. Like, I'm someone who's extremely interested in Ryan Pappenhausen, but nervous around the ankle issue. And yeah, if he's got Fizz's tick of approval, that's big for me.
Yeah, I'm as you guys heard last week, I was always Pappy's not 100%, but that's eased a little bit for me as well. So very, very good. All right. Our talking point this week, and this is sent in from Rugby League Guru, probably some handsome fella. My question to you, Tim, I have boosted 2 weeks in a row. I am running short on boosts. The little voice inside me says, don't boost 3 times in a row. It's ridiculous. If I just need to get my team right, though, do I just need to rip the Band-Aid off and do it? Talk to me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I don't have a problem with it. It's, I mean, I've said it many times before, and I'll say it again, but boost because you need to, not because you want to. So, like, when you're looking at your trades,
that's fucking good.
That's good.
I'll get that tattooed on me.
Good. I actually have already.
That's mad. That's like on your tombstone sort of stuff. I love that. Proceed.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. But, I mean, that's it, right? Like, you sit there once your boosts have run out, whenever that might be. Some people might run out of them by around 5. Some of them might run out of them by around 6. Some might run out of them by around 26. And whenever that is, there'll be a week after where you go, shit, like, I wish I had a boost here. I really need to make this third trade, but I can't. And that's basically the yardstick for me, mate. I just sit there and I go each week, am I doing this third trade and boosting because I can, or do I really need to make this trade? And like last week, I only ended up using 1 trade, but initially going into the weekend, I was going to use a boost and I thought it was a good time to do it. The closer we got to the weekend and the rain and different things that eventuated and sort of looking forward to this weekend a little bit, I went, well, I don't really like this trade. I don't really like this. I'm like, why am I doing this? So I suppose like the question to you, Roo, well, the first thing is, yeah, for people out there wanting to do 3 in a row or use their third of the season, if you need to do it and it's going to set your team up and you're confident of that, go for it. But if you're sort of just having a few second thoughts, hold off.
Now, what was that quote again?
Boost because you need to boost, not because you want to boost.
Okay. Now, I like when you said that to me, I just let it sit. I just let it manifest a little bit and just take control. And what you've actually made me realize is that I actually think I only need to make 1 trade this week. If I want to get Egan in, I can wait another week. I sort of went into panic stations there a little bit, as we all tend to do with SuperCoach, and I'm the king of it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I'm actually now thinking if I can just get Jenkins into my side, I think I'm sort of okay there. I think I can wait to move on Jack Williams next week. I can go to an Egan if he's sweet. That'll free me up cash to maybe go a Tom Gilbert to someone else.
And straight off the bat, mate, there's part 2 of it, right? Like, people have an injured player and they go, oh, I've got 600K on the bench. I need to get rid of him now. Like, I can't sit with that this week. Like, why not? Like, I sat there with Dill Lucas last week and I'll be selling him this week because better options were emerging in my mind. It's like, it's not the end of the like, and I'm using this as an example, not of like a Nathan Cleary or someone who's gone for 1 week and they'll be back. Where I'm holding them for points. I'm talking about people who have gone for like 5-6 weeks and longer term. You know you're going to be selling them. It doesn't always suit that you have to trade them that exact week, and that's Jack Williams for you this week.
I hate nothing more than when you make fantastic points, but this is definitely one of them. We've actually got another question that's just been sent in. RL Guru again. Now, I want to get Tom Jenkins into my side. I'm thinking I will sell Turbo to Jenkins and give him a week sitting in my flex before I move on one of Toya or Arthur's next week if he doesn't do well. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, had a good chat about this on Beers and Breakevens, and the Spies thinking similar.
Wrong show, dickhead. Get your head in the fucking game, okay? God damn it, Tim.
I'm trying to sort your team out for you, mate. Relax.
I think he Freudian slipped his favourite show.
Yeah, I think he did too.
Yeah. Priorities. 100%. And that's the thing. And we spoke about the best fullback replacements for Tom Trebojevic. And lots of people due to being pretty stacked at CT Dub in players they don't really want to sell, and chippies who are not quite peaking. They've got a bit more left in them, Toya being one of them.
Yeah.
Lots of people are looking at Arthurs v Toya as a sell this week. I'm one of them people, mate. And as it stands, I'm sitting on a Toya sell, but I'm like, there's more money in Toya. Like 100% there is, barring getting dropped for Billy Smith. That's another story. But yeah, you can do that. And you can get a CT Dub into your flex this week. I still think overall you want to be looking at getting these 3 gun fullbacks in or whatever it might be. But for this week, it's only 1 week. Like I said, you can trade Toya or Arthurs or whoever it might be next week. Jenkins moves back down to CT Dub and you get your fullback in. So
yeah, okay, cool. So if I just trade Jenkins, that'll leave me with 650k in the bank. And that means that next week I can move Williams to probably an Angus or a Ellie Katoa, one of those guns, and then it'll allow me to probably get Pappy as well via a CTW. So I'm sitting okay, I think.
Beautiful.
Sitting in a good spot.
And you say
okay.
trades.
All right, we're sorted. Good. Great questions there. Fantastic questions. I imagine that guy does very good things. Okay, Bluewealth Property, our day one guys, they're back on board for 2025. At what week do you think I stopped saying that? Do you think this is the week that I stopped saying they're back on board and people just know they're back on board?
Not a chance.
You reckon I'd back me in for 27 weeks as a start?
Yeah, you're in game mode, mate. You're rolling.
Yeah, it doesn't even say it on the sheet too. I just say it every single
week. And they are
week.
back on board.
They are back on board, but I don't know how much longer I need to put it out for. Anyway, they're on board.
At least till finals.
Yeah, well, we don't play in finals, you see.
Oh, that's
Rourke, I'm just like clay that you're still moulding. We're still.
That was my joke.
What did I tell you about jokes the other day?
Oh, that I can't make ones better than yours.
That's not what I said, but that's fine. Okay, so this week Bluewealth have released their annual State of Play Property Report. This report is a deep dive into each Australian capital city and key regional markets. Download your copy today. Have a read to find out where you should be investing in 2025. Contact Bluewealth to kick off your property investment journey today. Now, if I had to put it into words for you guys, and Timmy, you'll appreciate this. The annual State of Play is similar to the Rugby League magazine that David Middleton used to bring out at the end of every season that would have all the club records, that would have his top 5 players for every year. It was an absolute must if you were a Rugby League fan. And I think if you're looking to be in the property market, the State of Play, it is an absolute must for everyone out there.
Friggin' oath, mate. Tells you where to buy.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you'll own 3 properties in Cooma.
And shout out to David Middleton, little Timu guru out there. There's only one. Wow. And he didn't play on the wing for Parramatta and he wasn't David Middleton, okay? Let's get that straight.
One of the great NRL statisticians, and the Roo goes bang.
No, he was an idol of mine as a kid, David
I bet
Middleton.
he was.
Fuck, when he used to get on the footy show, I'd be like, tell those funny guys to shut the fuck up.
The
king's
business.
in the room. Absolute weapon, but shout out to him. Deserve that drive-by. Now, there is a link down below where you can get your pause on the State of Play there. So go check that out, guys, and make sure you are supporting Bluewealth Property. They got some big. I was talking to T-Rex on the phone the other day. They've got some enormous things coming up this year. They're adding a little arm to the business, or big arm actually, like a Marty Tapau arm to the business. That's going to do big things. So very excited. We'll have more details soon. I imagine Tony will be kicking the door in soon and coming on in a few weeks' time.
Yeah,
I think I might have a date booked in for that. Dare I say?
Christ, I hope the doggies lose a game before that happens, because if he comes in and they're undefeated,
mate, he's a cocky little bastard at the best of times. If they're undefeated, I can't handle it. I tell you what I love for Tony too, Parramatta at the bottom of the table, Canterbury at the top.
The office is painted blue and white.
Yeah, it's Tony's wet dream at the moment. So shout out to him, doing good things. Now, obviously, courtesy of Bluewealth Property, there is a $5,000 cash prize for the Beers and Breakevens SuperCoach League this year. The code is 295466. That will close in a few weeks' time. I don't know when, but it's approaching
roughly round 8 or 9.
Yeah, I would have said 8 or 9 too. That's very good by you. So make sure you go and join there, guys, to be able to go into the running to win that Bicky. The guy that won this week is Darren. He coaches Sharpies. He scored 1,334. He went up 40,000 ranks to finish 35,000. Geez, you're having a fucking shocker before that, Darren. But full credit to you. Send us an email, beersandbreakevens@gmail.com. Thank you to those that have already sent in their emails with your address. We're just getting some hats shipped over to us and sorting them out, unless you want to have a 2024 one, which I could shift your way. But I like to think I'm a better fella than that. So they are coming. We also got to send you an invoice for some Steeden footballs too.
I had to
chase you up and break your legs if you don't pay them, boy.
I had to double check that poor old Darren wasn't a sniper team with that rank rise.
Was he?
No, well, he scored 4,600 points. So
good on him.
Yeah.
Unreal. So shout out to you, Darren. Send us an email, beersandbreakevens@gmail.com, and we will get you sorted over the next few weeks. All right, Kat.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Are you ready?
I need something big from you.
Yeah,
this
let's
week.
go.
I need you to deliver.
Yeah.
Timmy, stat deep.
Dive.
Fuck yes, you went solo. Han Solo. I love it.
Even went a bit of a deeper voice there. Really embraced it.
Yeah, if you were on the podcast, that was actually Kat, not me. That was very, very good. I'm impressed. All right. Lehigh Hopewade jumping in at fullback to replace the great Tommy Travojevic. I think he's just under 600K, Timbo. Pretty appealing. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's one, the way the Supercoach mind works. When Tommy went down, when I stopped kicking the cat.
Hey.
He's already dead. He's had enough.
Yeah, poor cat.
Take your metal
Don't
studs
kick
off.
cats.
Yeah, that didn't actually cross my mind when that came out. You're lucky you weren't in the room, though. 585K.
Poor old Sprinkles wasn't so lucky.
Snowball, mate. As soon as Turbo got injured, I was like, all right, where's the Supercoach mind go to? Like every injury, and then I got, all right, who benefits out of this in Supercoach? And you go, Lehigh Hopewade, who he's going to be a Supercoach gun at some point, if he's not already, to be fair. Went back 5 games at fullback that he's played in the NRL thus far. What do you reckon he averages?
73.
Not actually that good, 57.6, which was less than I expected. That being said, one of them was this year against the Raiders, which was his worst of them, I'm pretty sure. The other 4 last year, essentially debut season in the NRL. So I expect, mate, that'd be a lot bigger. I expect he'll probably get 4 games there, I think it is, before that bye. As Physio said before, they're not going to bring Turbo back before that bye. That seems madness. So he should get 4 games there. The issue, though, the draw, it's a shame for Lehigh. Storm, Sharks, Dragons, Panthers into the bye. So I can't bring myself to do it with that draw. If the draw was softer, I'd really be looking at it, but it's not.
Yeah, the draw is just too much for me. I can't do it personally. Mate, I was just, whenever we're talking about a player, I obviously, I'd find my way over to the your website.
Oh, yeah.
Stick them into the stats. And then I also just have a little ponder on SC stats as well. And shout out to Lehigh Hopewade, because he does a great Albert Hopewade impression.
I saw that as
One of the
well.
all-time greats.
I know.
I'll back that.
I had me refreshing it 5 times. Something's going wrong here.
That's unreal. Very, very good. But yeah, I think that the Melbourne Cronulla Dragons, Penrith, Dragons are the easy game there, and that's going to be tough still, I think. So, yeah, you think Flano's not going to have him up to returning to Manly? So, yeah, I don't think I can do it. But despite what the stats say there, mate, if we get to the end of that and he's average 80, it's not going to blow my socks off.
I think you'll average higher than that.
Higher than 80?
No, the 57.
Yeah, good, yep.
Yeah, and, I mean, the way Tommy's going, I think I'll own Lehigh Hopewade at some point this year. But now is not that time.
Yeah. I'm going to say averages 63 during that period.
61.7.
61. Oh, precision. All right. Now, Britton Nicola. Now, I had him in draft last year, and he started very, very slow. And then as soon as he bottomed out, all of you brought him in classic, and then he went back to normal Britton Nicola. He's doing the same thing this year, except he is scoring a try every week. If you go and look at the stats, he's scoring a try every week and scoring 60. On the weekend, he didn't score a try. I didn't see what he updated to, but I assume it would have been in the 40s again. He's sort of, I said before, it's like he's shown up to a dress-up party dressed as a Cronulla Sharks back rower, because Supercoach-wise, he's not doing what he usually does.
Yeah.
I probably stole all your thunder there, and I apologise.
No, it's all right. I've got more stats, so we're good. He's just not getting it done.
No.
So 624K, break even of 92. He's already dropped 57K this season. Mate, averaging 57 points, That's 3 tries in 4 games. His base has a base this season of 37 as an 80-minute back rower, which is very ordinary, down on his 45 from last year, which is a pretty significant drop. 4 80-minute games this season, he's had only 29 runs. In his last 2 games, he's had 12 runs.
Wow.
So, like, he's beginning to bottom out, and depending what happens down in the capital this weekend or on Thursday, he's going to be a great buy at some point. As you said, like last year, he started slowly and then hit his straps later on. I'm confident he will, but far out. Need to see something first because the work rate is just non-existent.
Can I ask you, mate, do you put the work rate at all down to like Hines being the dominant ball player on that edge and Trindle seems to be taking a bit more? Like, do you put it down to anything like that, or do you think he's just not getting through work?
Well, Hines and Trindle, the way they play, they chop and change every freaking week. 1 week, one of them's dominant 7. The next week, the other one's sliding out the back. Like, I think it was Vegas from memory. Maybe this was a Vegas thing, but from memory, Nico was playing as the 7 and Trindle was sweeping out the back, and now they flipped around and Nico's now sweeping out the back more. I mean, Nico's on Nico's side, so it shouldn't have impacted it, like his output.
Yeah, it's weird just trying to find reasoning for it.
Yeah, he's a notoriously slow starter. Rando had some stats around slow starters in SuperCoach, the Guns, who find their feet a bit later on, and he was one of them. So, yeah, anyway, I said I think he'd be a great buy at some stage, but just need to see the output certainly rise.
I'll tell you what was odd for me as well, just from having Britt Nicker in draft. I think I've had him 2 of the last 3 years. In wet weather footy, he tends to absolutely base the living shit out of himself. And even that didn't come on the weekend.
No.
Like we saw some of these middle forwards just go enormous over the weekend in base stats. He was certainly not one of them, so a little bit alarming. Glue for hands. Bradman Best, talk to me. Got magnets for fingers.
God, he's not helping our boy Greg.
He's not helping Greg the leg.
Bradman Best is one really that we've spoken about in recent years, and we sit there and go, all right, he often has a base of like 40. He's on a good attacking edge at the night, or at least they seem to go to left when he plays. And he's only ever averages around that sort of 58 to 60 odd mark, and we wonder why. Anyway, still don't really have an answer, but all I do know is he's firing this year. Back-to-back scores of 109 and 99 has him at 622k with a break-even of -16. In those games, he had a base of 41 and 46. In those 2 games, 38 runs and 28 tackles, plus 13 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. Keeping in mind one of those games, well, the game before the bye, the Knights got pumped. The numbers are outstanding, mate. And like it's I shouldn't say now or never, but a -16 break even. If you like the look of him, he's punching out some serious stats.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Bradman from a SuperCoach point of view. I never feel confident doing it. Never. I always feel like there's a hammy or there's something just around the corner. But
yeah,
he's one of those guys who could get away from people very quickly.
He could. Like if the Knights' left edge comes alive a bit, not saying it hasn't because he's been great.
Yeah.
Marshu's had a few stats here and there, but it's been a lot of base. You know, if it comes alive and they start to favour the left and the Knights are playing good footy, he could get away and be like a 75+ averaging player. But again, for some reason, not looking at it statistically here, it just never seems to happen with Bradman Best.
And you know what? Like, it's not always his fault. Like, sometimes you go, oh, that left edge, they'll start to hum, and then all of a sudden,
they don't.
Dom Young and Fletcher Sharp are the top try scorers in the NRL. And you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Guy thinks he's 23 years old again. It's wild. Not for me, but I can understand people doing it. Gussie Crichton, Guth the Buff. I know you're very, very keen. And I think by the end of the deep dive, you might have me convinced. Take it away.
Yeah, 705k. I was sort of eyeing him or Eli Katoa for this week. This was last week. His break-even of 77. He's already dropped 53k this season, averaging 66 points so far in 4 games. No tries, no try assists. Bugger all attacking stats, really. Busted 14 tackles, 10 offloads, 46 in base, which is pretty good. I do think his ceiling is definitely reduced this year. New halves combinations at the Roosters, their aside declining on what we saw last year. He's someone I'm keen on, but with each day that goes on, eye test, he's not looking as good as he did last year, I don't think. The Roosters definitely aren't. I think he's a good buy, but I am swaying towards Eli Katoa now, just being in a gun side. Just the Roosters concern me. All that being said, he's starting to bottom out nicely for us and should be on the radar of people.
What was the break-even? 77?
Yeah.
What's Eli Katoa at? What's his price at the moment?
They're very similar. So Eli Katoa was a little bit more. He's at 731K with a break even of 71. And but like even in that, Eli Katoa has 2 tries, I think it is, or like a try and a try assist. 2 tries, and he had that try assist for Pappy on the weekend as well. Heaps more attacking stats, but that's kind of what's going to happen with these two based on their current teams. Like Eli Katoa is going to find attacking stats. Angus Crichton, he'll find some, but with the Roosters and the way they're playing, they'll be hit or miss.
Can I ask you, mate, if you're tossing up between those two, which I will be next week, do you start to at all look at, okay, Eli Katoa won't play Origin? Does that start to play a role in your mind yet?
Not quite yet.
Not yet?
Like, to be honest, I probably want them both in the next 3 or so weeks, but it's a good point you make. Like, it's the one for me.
You think you'll have both of them, do you?
Probably. I think they're probably going to be the 2 best back rowers, depending what Angus Crichton does in the next week or 2. And if he passes the eye test, and all right, he's back.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm happy to.
Yep.
And then, as I said, Roo, granted, like Angus Crichton, he's a big minute edge back row in Origin, but whilst there'll be a lot of Origin planning around and getting numbers and all that, my big take from last year was that I read too much into Origin. And and I think like it impacted me big time. So I'm not putting as much weight on buy planning across the Origin period as much as I have in recent years.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to be honest here, Origin was the least of your worries, but we'll move on. Zach Lomax, my boy. Actually, I'll just let you take it away. What are your thoughts on Zach Lomax?
My thoughts on Zach Lomax are pretty bloody similar to Angus Crichton, to be honest. And that is that, well, not entirely the same, but Zach Lomax, he's doing everything he can for this Eels side at the moment. Get a load of his stats on the weekend against Manly in a well-beaten side in the wet. 18 runs, 12 tackles, 6 tackle busts, 2 offloads. Guess how many he scored?
How many points he scored?
Yeah,
50 on the nose.
Yeah. They're like power and base stats. You don't get too much better than that. And he scored 50.
Yeah, and just from having Zach Lomax in draft last year and watching him very closely, if it wasn't wet weather on the weekend, I reckon he would have had another 4 offloads in that game.
Yeah.
There was a heap of opportunities. He just went, no, this isn't the right play.
My point is, though, and like potentially you're leaning it, and I know you love him, like buy soon. I just can't go near him in this current Eels team because he's just not getting the attacking opportunities. And I can't see that changing potentially until Mitch Moses comes back. Moses coming back will change a few things, but Moses will also be in the Origin frame, as will Zach Lomax for that matter. But I just look at someone like Lomax and go, all right, he's doing everything he can, but I want a bloke with a bit of base and power in a side that scores tries. And to add into that, in the 4 games so far this season, he's had 20 points in conversions, 6 goals, 2 misses. Like, goal kicking is a big factor in it. He's just not getting those opportunities because the Parramatta Eels have to score tries.
Yeah, I'm going to reserve my judgment on that for another week or 2. I think that whilst Parramatta look like a tyre fire, they have got better each and every week. I think bringing Riley Smith into this side, I think Dill Walker will bring a lot of energy to them as well. I'm not expecting them to turn into world beaters, but I do think, mate, they're getting to the point where we just need to move the football around and try things here. I don't know. Just and the reason for that is all good and well, but you can go side to side. But if you're not winning the middle, you're not going to achieve anything. Like we say that all the time. So until they start winning the middle, I don't think it's going to change anything. Yeah, they don't even have to win the middle. They just need to not get bashed through the middle. And I sort of thought they did compete through the middle to some extent over the weekend.
They were better.
That's what I'm saying. They are getting better. I don't think they're improving out of sight. I think they'll still be a bottom 4, bottom 6 side. But I'm going to reserve my judgment on Lomax. Like there was a pass that he tried to get quick hands on the weekend that floated forward, which was a forward pass. But if that goes through, all of a sudden you go, no, okay, 70 points. Like he's averaging 70.
And as I said, every chance he will be by at some point. Yeah, I just he's punch out those numbers for 50. I'm like, he's trying to carry the Eels and doing everything he can. Like, at what point does it burst a little bit and he just, like, he's gassed out, whatever it might be. And, I need to see something more and certainly probably Mitch Moses back. My devil's advocate for him, if you have a look at his average at 66, that's incredible. Those 2 games in the middle were the games I believe he was
jumping back into the wing spot to return kicks.
Getting those runs up.
That's where he got those extra base stats from, and he just had a few more opportunities in those situations. One of them he returned a kick and chipped over the top and regathered. He got 10. Like he just those two middle games where he scored 79, 89 without a try. I think a lot of that was because he was returning kicks.
And
so it's just something to be aware
and
of.
Zach Lomax more than most players in SuperCoach. You could make the argument for any player, but more runs means offloads and tackle busts.
Yes.
So
I think once Moses returns, mate, and I don't know how much I think it'll improve Parramatta. I don't think it'll turn their season, but I just think Lomax will then get good ball how he wants
Exactly.
it. And that's when hopefully he gets a little bit. I'm actually kind of filthy that during this period he's still averaging 66 fucking points.
I know.
But by the time that time arrives, Origin's going to be around the corner. And so, yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Okay, our next player, our last. Ooh, this is a first. We've got a team in here. I like this. Talk to me about the Canterbury Bulldogs.
Doggies are a funny one. Let me just get them up. So I was just going through them today and I'm like, all right, who are going to be the relevant players? Jacob Preston, he had a hummer on the weekend, killed at 122 points, averaging 71 for the season off the back of it. I'm like, they're undefeated. Maybe it's just largely off the back of their defence. I'm like, nah, they've got the third or fourth best attack in the NRL this season. So I'm like, points aren't an issue. But they're just not very SuperCoach relevant. So I went through a bit deeper into it. I was like, where are their freaking SuperCoach points coming from then? So William Kikau's injured. He was going all right. But Jacob Preston, he's their highest ranked SuperCoach player based on averages. Where do you reckon he rates on highest averages this year in the NRL SuperCoach?
22.
He's 32nd overall.
Oh, shit.
As I say, Kickout's a bit higher, but a few games. That's Preston after scoring 122.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So the team coming first.
Jeez, I thought 22 was going to be generous.
Yeah. Team coming first, unbeaten, and their top player, Preston, 32nd overall. Their second best, Connor Tracy. He's in 40th with an average of 67. Their third highest averaging player is Bronson Sherry in 64th with an average of 63.5. So I suppose I wanted to ask you, like, what do you put this down to?
After finding those stats out 8 seconds ago, I don't quite know if I'm completely honest with you. But I think it does just once again point to what we speak about with Canterbury, mate, that they, it's that old best 13 always beat the 13 best. That old saying in rugby league. And I think that's what Canterbury are at the moment. Like they all just play a role. They all just do a job. No one's a superstar. Someone has to get man of the match every week, but they all just chip in and do their bit.
Not a bad answer from you with 8 seconds notice.
Thanks very much. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I don't know if we achieved anything, but like...
I achieved nothing whatsoever.
It sounded good.
It sounded good, so take it. But like, you even have a look at like guys coming off the bench. Like Harry Hayes comes on and scores 50 SuperCoach points. You're like,
yeah,
the fuck?
It's just well-rounded. Everyone does their bit.
I'm looking at my draft waiver wire this week, and you got Salmon and Kurt Mann there who are both scoring well every week.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to play more minutes each week. That's just who they are.
And I mean, like, of course, Matty Burton's injured. Like, he'll come back in. He's one of their better ones. Jacob Kiraz, we know he's a gun. But I mean, he hasn't played a game all season, so like these points had to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But Kiraz is on the extended bench this week, so he'll be a close watch ahead of the bye in a week or two. So, yeah, just one that I noted, and I go to write the analysis on each team every Tuesday, and I get to the Dogs every week. I'm like, they can't be beaten, but I still don't want to buy anyone.
Yeah. And I mean, I had a mate in one of our group chats the other day that sort of said, I think I'm going to go Bailey Hayward. And I sort of went, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he's gone 67, 61. Burton's due back soon. They have got that bye, which I hate about it. But, like, even he's just jumped into the 5'8" role and averaged 64 across 2 weeks.
Probably what Burton would have averaged. Like.
Well, yeah.
But, yeah, that's crazy.
Okay. Sweet. Sit v start this week. Timbo, what are you looking at? Talk to me.
So, do you want to do our trades first, then sit v start? I think we need to change this order because then we reveal our trades when we're talking sit v start.
Sure. Do you want me to do my trades or you? I think I've sort of revealed mine. I'm going to bring in Tom Jenkins at the moment. I'm going to go turbo to Tom Jenkins. I think that's the only move I'm going to make. But my rubber arm is here to be bent. But at the moment, I think I'm happy just sitting there. What are you doing?
I will be going Dill Lucas out, Tom Trebojevic obviously definitely out. I'm sort of tossing up that third one. It's currently Rob Toyer. I don't feel great about it. He's 300K and he's averaging 51. There's more money to be made. One I will throw at you. Let's say the Bunnies, the oldest rivalry in the game. Towel him up. He's also got Latrell on the weekend. Good luck. In terms of Toyer, like Billy Smith is lingering there. How do we feel about Rob Toyer's job security?
I honestly, I wish I could give you a better answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not super confident on it.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I thought Dom Young was every chance to drop out of this side and Mark to move to the wing and Billy Smith come in. I think that if Toyer gets a bath, you know what? I do feel a little bit sorry for Toyer sometimes in defense because I don't think Chad does him any favors. If they get a bath on that left edge this week, which, you know, South Sydney left edge absolutely gave it to the Panthers last week.
Yeah.
Like they'll be humming here. That left edge is better this week than it was last week with Latrell Mitchell, obviously. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose this week if you do see one of Chad or Toyer maybe drop out of this side.
Who would drop out for Chad? Who would come in?
You've got Hugo Savala, who's been the 18th. He's come off the bench the last few weeks. He's 18th man this week. He actually played on, when did the Roosters play last week? Friday? 6 o'clock? Yeah, they were the early game Friday. He came off the bench in that, didn't play much. But then he actually went down to Canberra and he played after Josh on Saturday afternoon.
He's a big tall timber.
Yeah, big bit of gear, local guy. He did really well later on a few tries. I've also got Jake Elliott, who's a 5'8". He's not a halfback. But personally, I'd be okay with Sandon Smith playing halfback. I said it the other day on Bloke. I don't think you got all that much to lose. I think that Jake Elliott would be a good guy to come in at 5'8" too. He's a big body that just runs the football. I'm not saying like you have to drop Chad, but I do think if he does get his pants pulled down again, I think people are like, oh, the Roosters have no one. It's like they have guys. They're just young.
Yeah.
So
fair. So Lucas, Toyer, Trebojevic out at this stage. Toyer, I can tinker around a little bit. Tommy Jenkins will be coming in. Eli Katoa, going a little bit early on Ellie and getting him in with the... It's a tough game this week against Manly at Brookie, but after that, it really opens up. And I said, I was tossing up him and Angus Crichton. I'm just going... there's going to be so many attacking opportunities for Eli Katoa. The base isn't near what Angus Crichton will do, but he just loves to try.
And, mate, even with Eli Katoa, how tough is a tough matchup for him?
Exactly.
He's a fucking freak.
Yeah, exactly. And then at this stage, Ryan Pappenhausen coming in as well, who I'm excited about. Would love to get confirmation of him goal kicking again. It can wait a week. And what I can do is wait a week on Pappenhausen for that soft run, see his ankle this week, get through Brookie, and hold Toyer for another week and sort of look elsewhere. But that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Forgive me, you are trading out which two players?
Lucas, Toyer, Trebojevic out.
Yep.
Eli Katoa, Tom Jenkins, Ryan Pappenhausen in.
Yeah, nice. Okay, beautiful. Kathmandu, got any idea yet?
Want to trade out Turbo.
Yes.
Want to trade out it's so many players. Oh, I just hate my team. Letting the emotions take over.
This is Shane Flanagan at his worst. This is great.
If I could give a spray to this team in the sheds, the things I would say. Let me come back to you. But I know Turbo is definitely on the move.
I'm not sure if she has a spray in her. I think she'd kick the door in and it'd fall down and she'd give them all a hug.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm definitely, someone said I have Lebo mum vibes and I definitely feel that. Like I'll probably give you a look, but not much more than that. Like
you need an assistant that's a proper arsehole.
Yeah. I'll be like, they're scared to see them coming because they know I've said,
you need a Wolfie as assistant coach.
Yeah.
You need someone to deliver a spray. Okay, now sit v start, Timbo. For me this week, I've got Tom Jenkins at flex. I'm going to have probably KP. I will have KP or Gutho as one reserve. I will have Sandon Smith as one reserve. I will have Terrell May as one reserve, which means I either need to go. I'll probably start Shibasaki. I'm feeling okay about him at the moment, which means I need to either go Jesse Arthurs, Tamale as my last reserve, or a late contender that's put his hand up is Riley Smith.
Riley's a very viable play this week.
Yeah, I
could play 80.
Is there a world you play him over Starling?
There is, yeah.
Okay.
I just think he's a creative hooker. He's probably going to play 80. Like Starling only played, 50 59 and 56 minutes or something, not even that, the last few weeks. So his minutes have dropped off. We don't know what will happen there. 53 and 57 minutes last 2 weeks. Like, Riley's playing the Dragons. Starley's playing the Sharks.
I think Riley as well, that Dragons mob, I think they win this week, but fuck, they put a lot into that Melbourne game last week. I think it'll take a lot out. Emre Guler out of the middle as well. They'll miss him. Yeah, Riley Smith might be my final play. In saying that, if I'm playing the People's Goatee, I do Shibasaki. I do sort of think I'll probably play Arthurs with him as a little stack there.
I think Arthurs is a player this week.
Yeah, okay.
Thank God for that.
Arthurs or Shibasaki?
Both.
If you had to choose one. I'm Shibasaki for what it's worth. The Goatees for me.
Jeez, it's tight.
Would you shave to the Shibasaki? Would you commit yourself
I think
to the
Kempy's
Shibasaki?
already done a really good job of it, so I wouldn't, but I'd be open to it. Would you grow one?
Oh, do we have a spare 6 years?
That's mad.
That's not long enough either.
I'd go Shibasaki, gun to head. I've had to pick one. Guns to the melon.
Mate, gun to melon, Arthurs. And it's funny because you look at 116 on the weekend and 37 Arthurs. The way the Broncos often attack, it's like any NRL team attacks, to be fair, but except for the freaking Newcastle Knights, it's cut ball to winger and the centre gets cut out. And like Reece Walsh is a special for it. Shibasaki's base, way better than Arthur's. I just think there's going to be tries in it, right? And I can see Walsh or Benny Hunt, whoever it might be, just cut ball into Jesse Arthur's. Shibasaki's been good. Don't get me wrong. The 2 tries he scored on the weekend, and there's no reason why it can't continue to happen. He was in open space and someone gave it to him and he jumped over the line. Like, again, that may continue to happen. My gut tells me Arthur's.
Want to have a little wager on this?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. I want Shibasaki. You have an Arthurs?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll probably play them both regardless. Oh, for the bet, yeah.
For the bet.
Yeah.
What do you want to put up? Little Hawaii 5-0?
Yeah, well, why don't we do like I was going to say a nice steak dinner, but you eat like $150 cuts of steak, and I just don't know if I can.
Yeah, he made me pay one time. He made me pay for that one time.
What about just?
What about a Newmarket steak?
Yeah, I was about to say a nice cut of steak at the local.
They've still got a 150 there. Okay, so a Newmarket steak.
A Newmarket
beer?
steak.
Bourbon?
I'm getting your beer.
Okay, I might have to.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Keith myself.
And
all
for
right,
what
so
it's
just
worth,
head to head.
For what it's worth, I'm not confident, but we're in the entertainment game, right?
Yeah, we are, and I think I can already taste that steak. That'll be good gear. Okay, what have we got now?
My CV starts.
Yeah, your CV starts. Go, take me away.
So play Arthurs, Shibasaki. My CTW, Garrett, Tui Plodu, Shibasaki, Arthurs. Love the Tui Plodu match up against the Eels. I'll play Marju. I will play Corey Horsburgh, will be my bench 2RF. I've currently got it on Nafahu White. I do feel he's been great. In fact, he's been outstanding for me and exceeded all expectation. I feel like this bubble has to burst at some point because he's played big minutes 3 weeks in a row and they've just had injuries each week, the Roosters. Like Watson, Radley, other ones. And I'm like, he's played inflated minutes and I just wonder at which point he plays his 45. He's scored a try. He's had a line assist and been offloading. There's a 40 coming. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think there is too. If the bubble burst this week, though, it's been a great bubble to be in. It's been a fantastic bubble. So, yeah, I wouldn't be upset about it.
He's made 130. This is purely CV start. Like, he's made 130K, has a neg 11 break even. So,
mate, I was just reflecting on my sit v start decisions after making fuck, how good's my team? And then I looked at my 2RF and realised why it's so good. Nicholson and Hubner in the starting pack. That's why my fucking sit v starts are looking so good.
Oh dear.
Got a couple of deck chairs lining up in the back row.
I think I'll play Iongi against the Dragons. That'll be another nervous watch, but Combank Stadium, 3
What's
p.m.
his break even?
It's an interesting one. Break even of 6. So
okay.
He's averaging, what is he, 50 odd? Probably not quite, might have gone down a little bit. 46.5. So he's made 84K. Yeah, we'll see. See what he can do.
Wasn't it funny that stat we had in the preseason about like the worst fullback over the last few years has been Will Kennedy at 48? Yeah. That's exactly where he is. I still don't think it's a failure by any means, but it is.
No, it's not. But it's out. And for what it's worth,
if Mitch Moses was there, I think it's probably 10 points
For what it's worth, it's not a Youngie's fault. He's been running like 23, 24 times a game and has been terrific. His team just suck.
And they never get him good ball.
Yeah.
If Mitch Moses was there, I think it's a different story.
If Youngie's playing for the Broncos, he's averaging 80 right now. He is.
Yeah, it's fair. It's just a big statement. Oh, that was lost the old boy.
No. He's averaging 70.
No, stick with 80. I think it's fair.
He's averaging 80.
Okay. El Capitanos this week. Oh, what did you spray me for last week? El Capitano means...
The plural of El Capitano is one. Los Capitanos is plural. Yeah.
So I'm looking for El Capitano, right?
El Capitano.
So we're talking about Los Capitanos, but I'm looking for El Capitano.
Correcto mundo.
Correct. Thought I just hit a more chili feature. All right. I am going to... Fuck, this is harder than I thought it would be. Who are you thinking, mate? Let me scramble my mind.
Put it this way. You have way better captaincy options than I do. I actually don't feel great about mine this week.
I don't like KP against Canterbury. That's a no thank you.
I'm thinking VC Nico and then C Payne Haas. Because if I had Gutho, I would captain Gutho.
Yep.
And if I had Cleary, I'd captain Cleary. I have neither.
Yes, true. Yeah, I forgot about Cleary. Yeah, Gutho, I don't mind. That's a good shout.
Mate, yeah, Gutho, grudge match v Eels, Combank, 3 p.m. Saturday, sunny day. That's the play, I reckon.
Mate, as we just went through my sit v starts, as Vimalga has the bye, Gilbert and Williams aren't playing. My AE, I don't think it'll actually be a nightmare realistically. So I will happily put the VC on Nath Cleary and then I'll call on Tui Simpkins to come into where the C if need be. So yeah, that's going to be my play, I think. I'm liking Nath Cleary this week.
I do. If I owned him, I would too.
I really need to win the captain's battle between us this week. I think you're in front by about 110 points, which isn't much, but I need to win the captain's battle because I think your team is better than mine this week.
Yeah, I feel good about really good about my team this week, minus those captains.
Yeah,
people have better captains than me on face value.
Yeah, on face value. Anything can happen, but I think I do need to win the old captain battle this week. Are we done?
I reckon so.
We'd have to be fucking close to it if we're not.
Getting bloody hungry.
Oh, yeah. A bit of Hank Marvin. I'm going to pull the plug. I think we're done. Guys, make sure you go and check out the link down below for Lontel. You get a 1 month free kick-off start there. That was fucking atrocious.
8 p.m. Thursday.
8 p.m. Thursday it finishes, then it goes back to a week. So if you've been sitting on it for a few weeks, guys, make the move before kickoff on Thursday night. We've got the Bluewealth Property link down below as well. Go and have a look at their annual state of play, a bit like David Middleton's Rugby League annual, a must-have there. Always doing great things, Bluewealth Property. Check out the Beers and Breakevens SuperCoach League. The code is 295466. Go and check out SC Playbook from last night. What'd you talk about? Who'd you have on?
The Spy and Rando. Rando's back in force. Matty Buxton, the water boy, he was fired up too. And, mate, we did deep dived into all the fullback options to replace Tommy Turbo. Rando had, I do a stat deep dive. Rando, random stats guy and all. He does it. He did a super deep dive. So check that out. And Spy continued with his try assist and all that, a bit going on.
Can I also just shout out Rando because we had this conversation last week about millimeters with rain and I found myself quoting Rando a few times over the weekend just saying not ideal footy conditions and it's not something that I'd ever really thought about before. So I just appreciate the movement that he's created.
Yeah, and I actually think you can thank Sebo. Because Sebo bullied him relentlessly a couple of weeks ago.
There was a bit of rain chat that started to emerge on the potty last night, and we took Rando under our wing and we embraced him and we said, this is your safe space, talk about as much rain as you want. So
I love it.
There's a few country folk that came after you in the comments last week too about your rain chat, which I love to see. As a city folk, I'm happy to get bullied by country people, but when I see countries going after countries, that fills my cup.
It was
I love
someone from like central Queens, like somewhere well up north in Queensland. And I mentioned a deluge being like 50 mils of rain in a day, which is a freaking deluge for southeastern New South Wales. But when we're talking tropical North Queensland or wherever the hell in Queensland it was from, different standards, right?
Just another reminder of what I always say about Timmy. He's a country kid with city values.
Oh.
That's who he is. That's what he is. We're going to leave it there for the week.
And I say it often as well, but you're dead to me.
Oh, jeez.
Shibasaki for the win this weekend over Arthur's. Newmarket Hotel. Get that steak ready. Medium rare. Bit of mushroom on the side. We'll see you next week.